They said that the minister never truly left. Not in memory. In the building. In the wood. And in the air above the pulpit. On certain evenings, when the chapel stood empty, a voice could be heard. Measured. Steady. Mid-sermon. And the moment you stepped fully inside, silence. That was telling. And in Calderdale, we've always had room for such things. It was not a grand church, no stained glass saints, just a square stone chapel raised by mill hands who gave what coin they could. Wooden pews, narrow windows, a pulpit cut from dark timber that carried polish and coal dust in its grain. He stood there for nearly 20 years. Not a fiery preacher, not one for theatrics. He spoke as if speaking to one person at a time, because often he was. And perhaps that was the trouble. He'd not meant to enter the ministry. That wasn't the path first chosen. Before the chapel, there'd been a cottage, and before the sermons, laughter. And then there wasn't. Loss came quietly, as it does here. A fever, or a shift that did not end as it should. The records do not say, but those who remembered him said he changed in a single season. Not hardened, not broken, stilled. Faith did not make him burn, it gave him something to stand inside. And so he stood, at bedsides, in rain, by graves, between arguing men, behind that pulpit every Sunday without fail. He'd not missed one in 20 years. The day he faltered was not dramatic. No lightning, no cry. It was just a pause, mid-sentence. His hand resting on the edge of the pulpit, and a breath that did not quite return. He smiled, as if apologising for the inconvenience of a failing body. And he sat down. He did not finish the sermon. He did not preach again. And he died within weeks. The first Sunday without him felt wrong. The new man stood where he had stood. He spoke words in a different rhythm. No one said anything, but they felt it. Something unsettled. Not angry. It was absence. Then came the evenings, when the chapel was locked, when coal embers had long cooled, and someone passing heard a voice inside. It was low, measured, carrying as if to a room of listeners. A sentence, rising, then, as the door opened, nothing. Only dust in the air, stillness on the pews. There were no sightings, no figure at the pulpit, no shadow crossing the aisle. Only the sense of a man who had not yet stepped aside. Some who entered alone to pray felt it most. Not watched, not judged, accompanied, as though someone had already spoken on their behalf. A few left saying that they felt lighter than when they'd arrived, as if the work had been shared. Perhaps it was imagination. Grief takes time to understand new shapes. Or perhaps when a man binds his whole being to the care of others, the habit does not end with breath. He'd stood so long between sorrow and order that the space remembered him. Wood holds warmth, stone holds sound, and sometimes duty holds a man longer than he expects. The chapel's quieter now. Many are. Converted, sold, left to ivy and weather. And in some valleys, they still tell it. Of a minister who never quite finished, not because he was trapped, but because he'd always stayed until the work was done. And perhaps he simply needed a little longer. And if you ever find yourself alone in a chapel and you feel as though someone's already prayed for you, don't be afraid. Some devotions outlast the body, and not every ghost comes to trouble. Some remain because they care. That's Giles, signing off. And if you ever hear a voice steady in the quiet, you might just let it finish.